You won't believe how it happened. A billionaire slipping toward death in his $4 million hospital suite, and not even 20 top doctors could save him. Machines beeped incessantly, labored and insistent. Monitors glowed under ambient lighting, so carefully crafted it felt like a five-star hotel. Teams of experts from across the country conferred in hushed tones. Aber no one noticed what mattered most, except the woman mopping their floors. Angela moved through that sterile chamber of mahogany panels and soft lighting like a ghost. Quiet, efficient, invisible. Night shift. No one really saw her. She inhaled antiseptic, cologne, and something more metallic, subtle, easily missed by anybody else. Wrong, her chemistry-trained mind flashed. There it was. Yellowing fingernails, that particular pattern of hair falling away, a faint dark ring at his gum line. Her heart pounded. The answer crystallized, clear as a lab sample in her old lecture hall days. Thallium, a poison. But who would listen to a housekeeper when 24 specialists had failed? She was methodical, practiced in moving without disturbing. 38, single mother, night shift pro. But her mind was wired to pass detail. Catalog symptoms, spot patterns doctors misread. At 18, chemistry scholarship star, at a top university. Then that accident, those siblings needing her, a promise to return she never could keep. She left, degree unfinished, but never stopped learning. Journals, late-night lectures online, textbooks borrowed from the library, knowledge without a diploma, stored in corners of her mind. Tonight she dusted and polished, scraped fingerprints from a precious mahogany surface. Dr. Thaddeus Reynolds paced, silver-haired, Harvard perfect, voice calm but heavy. Gentlemen, we've exhausted conventional pathways. His liver keeps slipping, neurology worsening. We must consider more exotic routes. Angela kept her head down. She'd absorbed lectures in her mind long ago, recorded mental notes on symptom progression, organ failure, obscure poisons. She knew a lot that nobody expected her to. They moved on. The cleaning must be swift, Reynolds indicated. Angela nodded, skin flushing with familiar sting. They saw her uniform, not her mind. She glanced at his chart. Peripheral neuropathy ascending. Digestive breakdown. Alopecia. A lab pattern, misread as autoimmune cascade. But she noticed the hand cream. Imported, expensive, standing in a new position on the bathroom counter today. It wasn't there yesterday. Someone moved it. In chemistry, tiny deviations were clues. Then Jefferson Burke entered. Suave, tailored, former rival turned friend. He placed that elegant jar on the nightstand and said softly that this brand was the only one that didn't irritate Blackwell's skin. Angela watched. Too deliberate, too caring. And yet, she catalogued it. Later, she overheard 2 residents whispering about bewildering symptom progression, running tests, chasing theories, while the richest man in tech indifferently sank deeper. She paused, connecting dots faster than they did. That night she adjusted her cleaning route. Blackwell's room during sleeping hours became hers to observe. She read chart notes, symptom notes, watched his decline. Puzzle pieces clicked, and as alarms blared at 2:17 a.m., code blue, Angela heard his monitors scream. Doctors erupted toward him. Chaos layered in tension. Liver crashed. Kidneys flopped. Neurology unraveling. A resident whispered, "Toxic?" But Reynolds waved off environmental theories. "We tested everything twice. Stick to medicine," he said. She watched the struggle to stabilize him. Afterward, the bathroom beckoned. She breathed in that faint metallic note again. Examined his nails, saw the pattern. Hair, gut distress. It all matched the textbook on thallium poisoning she had memorized back in college. She took a breath and approached Sarah, the night nurse, voice low. "Has anyone checked for thallium poisoning? The symptoms? Classic." Sarah's face turned polite, but cold. "Miss Beaumont, please. The specialists are handling it." Dismissed again. But the picture was clear in Angela's mind. She went home, pulled her battered toxicology textbook from its shelf, flipped to the heavy metal poisoning chapter, confirmed everything. Thallium, colorless, odorless, absorbed through skin. Systemic havoc without alarm. The cream was perfect delivery. She scribbled a note. "Check for thallium poisoning, classic presentation." She left it on Dr. Reynolds' clipboard. Next day, she heard him deride the cleaning staff playing detective. They had indeed tested for heavy metals, but standard panels miss slow subcutaneous dosing. Angela swallowed anger. She had to find proof. Dr. Chen, young physician, seemed more receptive. She approached again. "Dr. Chen, thallium poisoning. Cream seems suspect." He deflated politely. "Standard tests say clear. Suggest this to the nursing staff." She retreated, invisible again. Security warned her off. "Anything medical is off limits." She nodded, throat tight, but a human life was endangered. At home she planned. Everyday supplies, aluminum foil, baking soda, cleaning solutions, a makeshift thallium detection kit, cobbled. Tomorrow, she would force them to figure it out. When Burke came again that afternoon, delivering cream in his careful, subtle way, Angela observed from the hallway, then slipped into the bathroom afterward, gathered a small sample into a sterile container she'd lifted from supplies. In her pocket. Evening, she organized evidence at her kitchen table. Textbook excerpts, chart printouts, symptom timeline, visitor logs, her test sample, unmistakable. She photographed, numbered, labeled. Tomorrow she'd make them listen. Next morning she shows up early, side bag in hand. She timed it so she'd be in place when a critical conference convened. When specialists filed in, she slipped in unbidden, placed evidence on the table. The sample, the test results, logs, charts. Reynolds rose, secure, professional, then frozen at the view of her. "Miss Beaumont, this is a closed medical meeting." "He's dying," she said, voice steady. "It's thallium poisoning. I can prove it." Silence, sharp. She laid out the timeline. Neuropathy ascending, alopecia pattern, digestive failure, the creamy delivery system, visitor logs. Technicians, speechless. She described her test, sodium rhodisonate reaction in a makeshift field kit, color change unmistakable. Lab murmurs rose. Reynolds opened his mouth, closed it. Dr. Park spoke. "That fits." Then others nodded. Specialists referred to hair sample progression, cumulative dosing. Someone clicked, "Run specific thallium panel." Another grabbed blood samples. Reynolds stared. "If this is accurate, we've been compounding the damage. Chelation won't touch thallium," one said. "Prussian blue," Angela supplied. Seconds later, a nurse reported, "Urgent toxicology confirms significant thallium." The shift changed. Orders flew. FBI on the way. Security reviewing tapes. Burke culled. Blackwell stabilized. And Angela, in the hush of emergency, she stood, for once, seen. Reynolds approached as vitals steadied. You were right," he said, voice taut. "How did you—" "I observe without being observed," Angela said. "I see patterns without assumptions." He nodded, apology in his eyes. Blackwell stirred, voice rasped. "What happened?" Reynolds squeezed the man's hand. "You are being slowly poisoned. The person who saved you is standing right here." He turned to Angela. Silence. Blackwell's eyes found her. "Thank you," he murmured. Applause rippled softly. The barrier had shattered. Agents arrived, asked her how she figured it out. She told them. Years of observation, knowledge stored. The agent nodded. "You may have saved his life and caught a killer." In the faint hum of normalcy resumed around her, she stood at the corridor wall. Dr. Park brought her coffee. "Please sit." That simple courtesy, patience for someone formerly invisible, felt enormous. Hospital administration took notice. A commendation, a bonus, and a proposal. Real opportunity grounded in her talent, not her uniform. And Blackwell, once recovered, offered her a scholarship, recovery stipend, a path to finish her degree, and placement in university toxicology upon graduation. And childcare covered, a bridge between life as she lived it and a path she thought closed forever. She accepted. Children cheered. Tasha eyed her with awe. "You saved a billionaire," Marcus whispered. "Actually," Angela corrected, "I noticed something they didn't. And now we're opening a new chapter." Her first day back through the main doors of the university, she no longer slipped in through back hallways. In lab coat and student ID, she stood among peers again. Dr. Reynolds nodded from across a hallway, stiff but respectful. Dr. Park became a friend and advocate. The school wanted her unique observational perspective in case reviews. At home that night, she helped Tasha apply to science camps. Textbooks and cleaning schedules intermingled at the kitchen table. Everything had changed. Her life, her children's futures. Months later, she spoke at a hospital conference, addressed doctors who'd once walked past her. "Observation doesn't require credentials. Wisdom can come from unexpected places," she said. Reynolds listened, conflicted, then nodded. News of the foundation and scholarship grew. Blackwell credited her publicly, an intellectual beacon in overlooked places. Angela reflected back on the flaws she once cleaned. They'd taught her to look, to listen, to notice. She knew other hidden minds needed a chance. 2 years later, she graduated, diploma in hand, at age 40, the first of many whose paths had been rerouted. She launched a scholarship for people returning to science. At university, she quietly cleaned bench tops, occasionally, figuratively, as a reminder of the strength born from invisibility. Now she's called into mysterious poisoning cases, consulting with unwavering quiet confidence. She answers with a new title, Dr. Beaumont, not given, earned, through insight, persistence, knowing how to be invisible, and then, when it mattered most, seen.